Go ahead, Rabbi.
Go ahead, Rabbi. So Rabbi says happy holiday to everybody. And today we're here for a public hearing about what we're going to do with that street. Are we going to keep it two ways, one way? So we could start with our first speaker. And who goes first?
Let's start with Ms. Bernadette Ferrara, which is the president of VNA. One of the requests has come from that organizations. So, Bernadette, go ahead. Floor is yours.
And we got a 2-minute limit on everybody. Is that
Yes,
correct?
I'm going to time you. Just give me 1 second. You want me to remind you at 30 seconds?
Yes.
Yes, I'd also like to share. I have something I want to share as far as a PDF as I'm speaking. Is that possible?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Chris, I have a point of order, Chris.
I'm
Is
sorry.
there a quorum?
No, it's no quorum is needed when it's a public hearing.
That's not what I know. Is it a committee hearing or is it a board hearing?
It's
There
a
needs to
public
be a
hearing.
quorum.
It's a public hearing.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready, Bernadette. Can you share?
Okay, I'm going to share. Okay.
Yes, you're sharing. I'm going to start right now. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. My name is Bernadette Ferrara. For the record, I am appearing at this public hearing as a Van Ness resident, a longtime resident, and also as a someone who frequently rides this corridor, this block. So I'll start with my first page. This is Rhinelander Avenue, Van Ness, one-way going west. The stretch of Rhinelander Avenue from White Plains Road to Unionport Road is too narrow for two-way traffic. It must be made one-way going west to alleviate congestions on Rhinelander Avenue, White Plains Road, and Morris Park Avenue. This is a map of Rhinelander Avenue between White Plains Road and Unionport Road, presently a two-way traffic road. Next, present-day conditions in Van Ness. In September 2014, Mayor de Blasio's Vision Zero was implemented on White Plains Road, creating congestion north and south in Van Ness to present day. Point 2, on October 25th, 2019, DOT implemented the Morris Park Road Diet, creating additional congestion east to west in Van Ness to present day.
30 seconds.
These back roads of Amethyst, Victor Street, and Unionport Road alleviate the flow of traffic north-south, but have added congestion. I will go to show Rhinelander Avenue, the flow of traffic, the access to Amethyst, the other access from Victor Street, and then after a traffic study is conducted, this is what I propose, that DOT keep both Victor Street and Amethyst Street accessible to community drivers to alleviate congestion on Morris Park Avenue, that DOT find traffic going west on Rhinelander one-way to be the best solution for our community to alleviate present-day congestion.
Hi, Bernadette, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, this PDF is available. I'd like to submit it at some point to either DOT or to the community board. Thank you.
No problem. Just email it to me and to Jeremy if necessary. We can forward it to DOT for that matter.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
I'm trying to unshare. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. The next person on it's Mr. Nolan. Bob, how are you? This is Chris. Long time.
How are you tonight? How are you tonight, Chris? Can you hear me?
I'm doing well. How's everybody?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Tell me when I can start.
Go ahead.
My name is Bob Nolan. For the record, I am the senior advisor to the Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance. I'm not speaking on behalf of our alliance tonight, but as somebody who grew up in Van Ness and who drives through Van Ness and drives through Rhinelander Avenue as a shortcut down to Morris Park Avenue many, many times over the decades. What I can tell you is that this has been a favorite shortcut of mine, but it is no longer a shortcut that I think is safe. And what I've tried to do in the last couple of months is go from where I live up in Indian Village, right down Morris Park Avenue to 180th Street, because Rhinelander Avenue has become too congested. There are cars that double park, and when cars double park, as you know, it's very difficult for other cars to make their way through. During the holiday season, when FedEx is there, it's extremely difficult. So I think it's time for Rhinelander Avenue to go one way. And everything I've heard Bernadette say, because I haven't had a chance to hear her proposal, but everything I've heard her say to this point, I would tend to agree with. But this is something to be left in the hands of the professionals at the Department of Transportation. So I support the request of Community Board 11, which I hope will come out of this hearing, to call upon the Department of Transportation to do a study, a traffic study of that Van Nest area, to make sure that what they recommend then is in the best interest of the residents and community people who live in Van Nest, as opposed to people who might be driving through. With that, Chris, thank you very much. I appreciate the time you've given me tonight. Happy holidays to everybody who's on the call, and I'll continue to listen.
Thank you, Mr. Nolan. Just in time. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next person, Mr. Robert Press.
Yes, thank
Let
you,
me know when
Chris.
you're ready.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, as I just heard the previous speaker, it seems to be unclear if it's all of Rhinelander Avenue as was first sent out, or just 1 or 2 blocks or whatever. I go to the Van Ness meetings. I come down Amherst and I make my right turn on Rhinelander, and I would say Rhinelander should be eastbound one way rather than westbound, because we have Van Ness Avenue on the other side of Morris Park Avenue that's one way westbound. So naturally, this should be one way eastbound. Now, traffic on Morris Park Avenue, to me, seems faster now that you have the bike lane rather than the 2 lanes of traffic that cause you to always double park in. There are less cars double parking, less movement coming into that main lane, and it seems to move faster. The other problem is, if there seems to be a problem of tightness on the street, all that needs to be done is to remove one side of the street parking to alleviate that. That way you'll have plenty of room for cars to get through. And that seems to be about it. Again, be very careful what you wish for in this traffic study, because you may get a traffic study that says the whole route, whole area of Rhinelander be one way, not just one block. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Press. Just gonna make sure that it's not the entire Rhinelander. Bernadette, can you just give me exactly which part you think it?
Well,
Just
the
saying
request
that the
it's
DOT
from White Plains Road going to Unionport Road. It's the
That's
street-
correct.
Yeah,
It was
it's-
very unclear in the original notice. It seemed that it would be the whole, street, and that's what could happen with DOT.
No,
I'm
no,
just telling you.
it's not with the entire Rhinelander Avenue. It's just whatever Bernadette is asking for.
Yeah, it's the request of the area that is congested from White Plains Road going west towards Unionport Road that passes Victor Street and Amethyst Street,
Okay.
and then Unionport.
It's on record.
Okay.
Next, I'm gonna have Miss Roxanne Delgado. Miss Delgado, go ahead, please. Let me know whenever you're ready. Miss Delgado?
Yes, sorry, I'm trying to get ready. Yes,
That's okay, let me know.
I am ready now, thank you. My
Go
name is
ahead.
Roxanne Delgado, and I'd like to make a statement. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. And as the previous speaker said, be careful what you ask for. And I think this was Yahe Obi that asked for this traffic study, not Miss Bernadette. But anyhow, if you don't open the Pandora box to a study about it, that might lead to things that might actually do more harm than good for the community. The real issue is not that the street is too small, it's the double parking. That's the real issue, the double parking, which is coming from my understanding, from the Muslim Center. And it's only going to get worse because when they move to their new location, the community board have waived any parking requirement for them, so double parking is going to escalate in that community. So it's not so much the street is the problem, it's the double parking. That should be addressed. And from my understanding, for the limited research I did, I don't see that there was any traffic incidents where you could say that the street is unsafe for people. I don't think that's maybe an opinion, but we have to look at facts and data. And based on my simple research, the data does not support that the street is unsafe. but the double parking is a problem, and there should be enforcement regarding double parking in that area. And actually, I have spoken to a few people, just a few. They say it's better two-way because it helps alleviate the traffic from the Morris Road diet and make it in one way will benefit one side of the community, but take away the benefit from the other side. So I don't think we should split the baby in this case. So I'm
30
opposed to any
seconds.
traffic study. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Ms. Delgado, but understandable. This is just the preliminary. We're doing a public hearing. We're listening both sides, the cons and pros. Everything's going to be sent to DOT. DOT is going to do a study. It's going to come back and let us know what they found out of that. I'm going to continue on Mr. Yahe Obid. I think Yahe, if I'm not wrong, it was a gentleman that, it came from him, the proposal through you. Yahe, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening, everybody. So,
Let me know whenever you're ready to start.
all right, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
All right, so it started because the traffic congestion in that area has nothing to do with double parking. If there's no cars double parked and you try to pass that area, it's very tight. And if there is a postal service truck or any type of truck that needs to pass, no way with another car there. So it's almost impossible. So double parking, one, has nothing to do with it. If someone double parks, the whole street is gone. So it's impossible to double park. You can't double park there. Two, it has nothing to do with the Bronx Muslim Center. Three, when we met with Navardo and he said, I don't recommend removing parking, because if you remove one side of the street from parking, then you lose parking spots in a neighborhood where you really need parking spots. So that's three very important things. We did have a petition. I think last time I did a count, it was over 200 signatures of people that signed. The restaurant, Oasis Restaurant, was in favor of it, but it's always been a problem, and they signed up on board. So they made like the formal request was through them, even though I've shared that concern with Bernadette, I think during meetings and other stuff like that, where we talked about how congested it is. So it is a safety issue. You have to be
30
there,
seconds.
especially in the morning and during rush hour to really understand it. I agree with Bob Press that it limits you, because if you make it westbound and you already have Van Ness going westbound, but you can always take Amethyst or a different way to get around that. It won't be a problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abid. Just in time, 2:02, 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Perfect. Next person, Miss Charlene Jackson. Miss Mendes. Miss Mendes. Miss Mendes, can you hear us? Okay, then Mr. Cass.
I'm
Are you
here. I just
Okay.
needed to unmute myself.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Let me know whenever you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Good evening. In the Bronx, just 17% of active registered voters voted in the 2021 mayoral election. That included elections to the Bronx Borough President and City Council persons that represent the Van Ness community where Rhinelander Avenue is located. Very few citizens vote, and even fewer are involved with their local community board. As a consequence, decisions that impact the entire community are made with the interest of just a few in mind. I have witnessed decisions made by Community Board 11 in the current year that were not achieved with transparency nor adherence to stated procedures. The residents of Community Board 11 deserve local leadership that respects the rights of the entire Community Board 11 area. The rationale for the proposed street change should be made public. Any traffic study completed should be made readily available to residents and local community groups. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mendes. Mr. Cass, are you willing to speak, sir?
I didn't register to speak, but
Okay. Can I leave you for the end of it? I mean, because if I miss it, I'm missing. I think I miss one. I'm missing people. Am I missing anybody else from the list? Go ahead, Mr. Cass, if necessary. I'm going to ask the rest of the people who's willing to speak on behalf of this matter. Let me know whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. I'll just begin by saying that I don't actually have any strong feelings about making this part of Rhinelander one way. I do agree that the street is too narrow for two-way operation. I don't have a preference whether it should be westbound or eastbound. Though I do have a comment. I did see a slide suggesting that traffic should be able to continue northbound from Amethyst, and I'm not sure that is the way the one-way sign is, if that's an allowed move, because you're making a right turn, and if it's westbound, I'm not sure if that's particularly safe. And one thing I would ask in addition, if DOT could study what could be done about the slip lane from White Plains Road going onto Rhinelander Avenue. Slip lanes tend to be particularly unsafe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just to make sure again, it's not going to be the entire Rhinelander one way. It's going to be partial.
Yes,
one
I
way.
understand.
Yeah. Anybody that I'm missing, please, anybody else that wants to speak, you can unmute yourself. Going once. Going twice.
Okay, Chris, this is Bob Nolan. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
Mr. Nolan.
If this is the end of it, can you just once again tell us what happens after this? What are the next steps?
To my understanding, we were told by the commissioner then, Mr. Nevada Lopez, first we need the approval of the entire board. So this is going to be a public hearing. The next step, to my understanding, if I'm not wrong, Rabbi, help me here if I'm not wrong. All this is going to be sent to the DOT. The DOT they're going to make a study on it to see the impact on the neighborhood and in the community when it comes to that
Chris,
matter.
if I may, when will the community board actually vote on this matter?
First, we need to do the study because the community board, first thing what they're going to ask for the study to be done to be better seen through the eyes of an expert.
Chris, if I may, that's my question. I assume the community board must vote to actually ask and request the Department of Transportation to do a study. Is that correct? And if that's correct,
That's
when
going to
will
be
that happen?
that's right. That's going to be the first vote. That is going to be a request from the community board to the DOT to do the study.
Will that happen in December or will that happen in January?
Well, to my understanding, it's going to happen in December, in 2 days from now.
Thank you very much, Chris. That's what I was looking for.
Yes. Anybody else from the public is willing to speak? Yes.
Sorry, Bob had a chance to ask a question. I would think I have the same courtesy. My issue is that we only have 5 people in attendance at this meeting, which is very small, tiny. I think that people are not interested in this street. I don't know why we're accommodating a whole study for something that people don't seem to be interested in.
I have a bunch of people actually, Roxanne, and it's not only 5 people. I can count them if you give me a chance. 1, 2, 3,
Okay,
4,
sorry.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people that are at this moment. And the public hearing was announced. It was sent to newspaper. It was made public in City Times. So we announced this public hearing for everybody else.
Which just shows that people are not interested in this issue, which is why I'm wondering why we need to have a study to accommodate just a few people.
Could I answer that question?
Yes, please.
Why, Bernadette? I'm asking Chris. I wasn't asking you.
Well, the people in Van Nest are very interested in it because it is in Van Nest. So we are very interested in it, and we're interested in getting a traffic study because for people, many people who do use this traffic area often, myself being one of them, I traffic this almost every other day. So it is something that does alleviate the traffic that Van Nest has because of east, west, north, south road diets and the congestions on Morris
So
Park.
only
and the
three, I'm sorry, only 3 voted for it and the rest abstained. So obviously not that many are interested.
I don't care if there's 2 people interested or 100 people. If there are some people in Van Nest that are interested, whether, we should move forward and request a traffic study, because there are people who live there that are interested.
But we
Roxanne,
have a lot of people who are interested in e-scooter. We're still waiting for this town hall meeting. I have at least 25 people who's texting me when we're going to have this e-scooter town hall meeting that the community board said they'll do, but they put other priorities that benefit the few over the rest of the community. We
Okay,
should put what
Roxanne.
people in majority care about.
Roxanne, when it comes to
Sorry.
about requesting, no, that's okay. When it comes to about requesting a study, that doesn't mean that it's a done deal. It's the same thing when you request for a stop sign. It's the same thing when you request for a hump on the street. It's the same thing you request for a speed camera. Well, these are just requests, which means for the benefit of the community, we put a request. If it happens the DOT is going to prove that one way can be feasible, then after that, the whole board, I believe, should look into it and decide, yes, it's fine.
Okay, but I hope we have that same courtesy for when we have 1 or 2 people asking and it's always shut down. But when someone from the board wants something, it's always done. I'm just saying we should be fair, and it's not directed at you, Chris. I'm not directing it at all to you. I'm saying in general.
Listen, you hold on. You got to understand that Miss Ferrara is speaking on behalf of Van Ness Association.
No, she's
I'm
not.
speaking,
No, she's not.
Chris.
Yeah.
And Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance did not have a vote on this because there was too much discussion.
Okay, I
So
withdraw
the
it.
vote was
I withdraw
tabled.
it. I
I'm
withdraw it.
speaking, I'm just for the record.
Okay.
I'm speaking on behalf of a Van Ness resident, a longtime resident, and also a community leader in Van
Okay,
Ness.
so
I'm just
I'll
for the
withdraw
record.
it. I
We have many
apologize.
community leaders not here.
Okay,
Obviously, they're not
I
interested.
apologize. I apologize. I didn't know it was that.
Yeah.
I will draw my same. Well, Mr. Obid, are you speaking on behalf of the Muslim community in the area there that is impacted? I'm asking.
Yes, I am speaking on behalf of the Bronx Muslim Center.
Okay. So,
I'm
anybody else
sorry,
that has
Chris,
any
may
comments?
I say something, please, since you allowed other people to
Sure,
comment?
please. Sure, please.
Yes, I just want to make it very, very clear. I, as a resident in Van Nest was present at the Van Nest Neighborhood Alliance meeting when this issue came up, it was not spontaneously brought into the conversation. We were asked to vote on it, and then a lot of people said, we don't really know, we need more information. So I really want transparency in terms of whom is driving these requests, petitions, and I think everything should be open. We should know who is requesting this and why, because I did not see this as an issue that was of burning importance for the members of my community that I know.
Okay, like I explained before, for any request that is done to the community board, even for a stop sign, 4-way stop sign, 1-way stop sign, 1-way street, speed limit, speed camera, a hump on the street, everything goes through us. We requested with DOT.
Right.
We put it with DOT because it was done a request.
Right.
The commissioner suggested, do a public hearing, let everybody speak on the behalf, have a vote with Community Board 11. Once you have a vote for a study, emphasizing for a study, doesn't mean that we put it in and say we want it. We're going to put it for a study to be done. If it's
Chris,
yeah.
the issue with the study, I think, as others have pointed out, is that you don't know, once the study is done, then that is what will be recommended by DOT, and that is what will happen.
Oh,
So,
no. Once the study is done,
right.
I
But what
believe,
I'm
I
saying
believe,
to
I
you,
believe it's going to be a presentation by DOT.
right, I understand that, but what about, there may be many people in the community that do not have a problem with how it's set up right now. And then once the study is done, it will be changed to whatever the DOT recommends from what I have been told. So it's like, if the study is done, we are going to have to go along with whatever the DOT says. And we really do need to know that this is really something that more than just one section of the community wants, because this affects everyone, not just a certain segment. That's a very
That's
area that many people use.
Can I direct you as the first name, Charlene, or you want Miss Mendes?
Whichever you prefer is fine.
Okay, Miss Mendes, the whole point is this. That's why a public hearing occurs, to give a chance to everybody who's willing to speak and bring up their idea or their opinion or their will on this matter. So we have pumped it everywhere. On the Bronx Times, we put it in on City Limit. It's published and everything else. Whatever steps that are necessary for public hearing have been done. Now,
Okay.
if it happens that you are present, Ms. Ferrara is present, Ms. Delgado is present. I'm sorry if I mention all these names, but it seems that you, like you said, you want to get involved. But if it happens that a certain amount of people don't want to get involved for their own benefit, that what else can we do, if I may ask?
Right. So one of the things that you can do, if you may ask, because one of the things that I'm terribly concerned about is that I think there's a disconnect between our community board and too much of the residents, I will say, of Van Ness, because that's what I know about. But I found out about this meeting December 13th. Many people, myself included, are extremely busy. So if you really want participation, you have to give people more time if you really want them to show present. If you tell us about a meeting and we only have 1 week, it's hard enough for me just to get myself to be able to participate in the meeting, let alone inform my community. So,
Well, Ms. Mendes,
yes.
we have had certain issues that, have been, I'm going to take an example of 2500 Williamsbridge Road. Within 1 week, we did the public hearing and the entire, almost our district was there because people really got involved.
That had nothing to do with the community board. It was myself and the activists that got the people there. That had nothing to do with the community board.
Ms. Delgado, if it wasn't for Chris Kirka here, you never would have heard about that thing.
Right.
I was the one, when I sit down with these people, I made it clear.
I was the one that found the
All
deed.
I'm going to say to you, all I'm going to
No,
say
but that
to you,
was done by the
I just
activists.
brought
Had
it as an
nothing to do with community
example.
board.
I know,
No,
but
no,
all
it
I'm
was
going to
community
say
board.
to you,
It was truly yours that made that thing big deal.
right.
When the
No.
when the person came to present the thing, I said, hold on just a second. Things don't go that way. It
Right.
was me in the
The
office.
community board didn't even want to have a town hall meeting. We had to twist their arm to agree to have a town hall meeting.
What are you talking about? The town hall meeting was organized even before you guys started. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No. I had to go. We were at the leadership.
Because I have more interest than you when it comes to that matter. Let's stop.
We were
on
at
this
the
part.
leadership meeting, and they didn't want to have a town hall meeting. They said,
Okay, to each his own opinion. Anybody else about this issue, please?
Chris, can I interject here?
Please.
Okay, you only have 4 out of 50 out of 48 community board members present. How are the other 44 members going to get the full information in 2 days by the board meeting? Number one. Number two, I see the traffic and transportation chair is here, but it should be taken up in the traffic and transportation committee because there is not a quorum of the traffic and transportation committee here. And I'm sure that some of the other members of the traffic and transportation committee would like to have some input on this before it goes to the board.
Mr. Press, why you are in this meeting, if I may ask?
What's that?
Why are you in this meeting, if I may ask?
Why am I here?
Yeah.
Because I am a very concerned person about their
Okay, so
community
stop
where they
there.
live. I
Stop
was
there.
on 9.
Stop there.
committees.
Stop there. You said you
Stop
are a very
there?
concerned person. Where are the other concerned persons? Why they didn't come to this meeting? We're not shutting down anybody.
Chris, that isn't
It's
up to
with
me to
choice.
answer why
It's
there
not
are no other
mandatory.
people here. I'm
Mr.
glad
Press,
to see my neighbor, Mr. Nolan's here, that Bernadette is here, that Charlemagne is here, that Miss Delgado's here. Okay, we are concerned people about the community. Mr. Koss,
again, you're misunderstanding the point that I asked you. You are a concerned citizen. You are in a meeting. Everybody knew about this. Why they are not in a meeting? It's not mandatory.
as I said, Chris, it was misstood. It was just written that Rhinelander Avenue would be one way. And that is why I got involved. As you know, I sent the board a letter. Well, is it the whole Rhinelander? Is it one part? And then I got a letter from Jeremy saying that it was just a certain area of Rhinelander Avenue. And like I say, from my experience as vice chair of Traffic and Transportation Committee for 6 years, you may wind up with the entire Rhinelander Avenue the one way. I'm telling you that.
But you got to understand one thing. When it's going to be put and if it's going to be put, you got to understand. This thing's going to be spoken into the community board meeting also. So
Correct, but
it's going to be voted there. Okay, let me.
I have one more answer to Mr.
I
Obey.
let you speak. When it's going to be voted, it's going to be made clear. Yeah,
Chris,
go ahead.
Mr. Obey said that DOT does not take away parking places. I can bring him to 3 community boards where they have taken away parking places.
No, but he said they don't want DOT to take away parking spaces because it's going to affect the neighborhood. That's the whole
Right.
issue.
Because DOT may wind up suggesting that they take away one side of parking, and that will alleviate the overcrowding.
Suggesting.
That's what I'm telling you. I've
Mr.
been through
Press,
these.
keyword, suggesting. Just suggesting. The word
No,
is
they
keyword,
do. They
suggest.
don't suggest, Chris. They come with you with a plan, and it's done. Just like they did the road diet. It's done.
Okay, so like I said, all this is going to be specified on the motion for the community board, the entire community board, to look into it. And if they see that it's not enough time to look into it, it might be postponed. So it's up to the full board to decide either they can table this issue for another date, or they can vote on that day, which is 2 days from now.
Well, I'm just telling you, be careful what you ask for, because you may get something completely different. Thank you.
May I just make a point for everybody
Sorry,
to
Chris, I just
understand?
want to say one quick thing.
Roxanne, you said
One
something.
second.
Can I
Mine
make
is
a
going to be
statement?
really short. I'm just going to make it. I want.
Just let her
I
finish.
know. I want to make mine short. I'm going to make mine short so I can just end this. You can
Yeah.
go on afterwards. I'm saying that again. If you open this Pandora box, you might get something you might not like. Second, there's too little people who are interested. I'm here because I'm not for the study. Why waste taxpayers' money for something that obviously people are not interested in doing so? You're saying that because there are people here, they're not concerned. Of course, it's not an issue they're concerned about. It doesn't mean they're not concerned people. There's a lot of people in this community that are very concerned about their community, but it just happens they're not concerned about this issue, about this Rhinelander. This seems to be an issue that's concerned about 1 or 2 individuals on the board, and of course, anyone on the board wants something, the full board's going to go along with it.
No.
Okay,
That's
so
my,
like I said,
okay, that's my thing.
Okay, thank you. Let me emphasize once more. Rabbi, help me in the matter of this, how things going to work. All these suggestions going to be brought up to the full board. It might be that the full board might say, you know what, for more information, for more input from the community, from the district, we can postpone it or table it for another one, or maybe they're going to request for another public hearing. Maybe. It's always the maybe, depends on community board. But we're going to bring all these issues to the community board when this thing's going to be proposed. If community board decides to table it or postpone it for a further time, go ahead. If the community board listens into it, votes for it, and says, yeah, I mean, okay, let's go for a study, let's see where it's going to take us, and it's up to the community board.
Okay.
So, Mr. Kirko, may I just get a point of clarification?
Please.
So you're saying that from where you stand, a week's notice is enough time to inform the community of an upcoming hearing, and that anybody that is interested should be able to make themselves present with a week's notice. Is
I'm
that
not 100% how much is the minimum timing needed for a public hearing. But to my understanding, we were within the frame of the minimum time of hearing it's requested for a community board to have a public hearing.
Okay, may I just make a quick point?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, the one thing that is very important to know is that the street between White Plains Road and Unionport Road is a very narrow street. It definitely needs to be one way. I drive that almost every other day, and I have a small car, I don't have an SUV. When I come down from Amethyst and I want to make my right to either go down to White Plains Road or to go, because there is a stop sign at Amethyst and also Victor Street. So the cars do have to stop right now if it's, because it's two-way. And there will be a stop sign there for when it becomes one-way. But the thing is, when you're going down there, there is no way, if you care about your car, that you will want to go side by side. And I have a small car. Okay, so it is too small for two cars. It should not be two-way. And for people who frequent it, everybody is saying it needs to be one way. And then when it gets congested, it's bottlenecked. That's just a fact. So the people who frequent it, yes, they are very interested in taking
Okay.
care of this.
Bernadette,
Hey, Chris,
Bernadette, I have a few questions, okay?
Yes.
The first
Yes.
question was probably you would have to be some sort of a predictor on, but I'm going to try it. So if it goes to one way, how do I know they're not going to double park on both sides of the street? Then you're pretty back to where you are now. I don't know. I don't think you can answer that question, but that is a possibility. Second question, what is the alternate side of the street parking as it stands now?
The alternate side is that it's just two days a week and not 4 days. And that's rolled over from the pandemic.
2 days a week.
It's
So
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday on each side of the street, one is Thursday and the other one's Friday?
Yes.
Okay, good. And last question is, and this is maybe a safety thing. So I understand, I'm trying to picture it. I see the stop sign. So how do I know? And again, this is safety, and maybe again, you would have to have a crystal ball for this one. If it goes one way, how do I know I'm not going to speed right down that block to get over to wherever they have to get to now? Now you're saying it's almost impossible to speed because you can't get your little car through it. But if I make it a one way and I make it a little more room saying that they don't double park on each side, and when one day there's alternate parking where they'll have plenty of space, how do I know that that doesn't become a raceway?
Well,
I'm
can I
not
just
saying-
point out that one of our members lives right there on Rhinelander. She owns a home on Rhinelander and Amethyst. And they're speeding there now, even with the cars doing that. So it's there whether we have it one way or two ways. I don't think that's the issue. The bottlenecking and the congestion are the issue, and the cars not being able to go down. And you're stuck. You're stuck. You just can't do it. You're stuck behind a parked car. You can't get down. If there's a large car like a 4x4 pickup, there's no way two cars could get down there. You have to wait. And then during the rush hours in the morning, and then after 3:30 in the afternoon, you have issues. It's bottlenecked. So, it's just having it one way would allow a flow of traffic. Are we ever going to stop the speeding? I don't know if that's possible.
Okay. Okay, thank you. It was just all points of information. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris, may I respond to the rabbi for a moment? This is Bob Nolan.
Yes, go ahead.
Bob Nolan.
Rabbi, how are you? It's good to hear your voice and to see you participating as usual.
Okay, good to see your face. Go ahead.
That particular block, as Bernadette has pointed out, is a much more narrow part of Rhinelander Avenue. Once you cross White Plains Road, it expands. So I recognize that on that block, If there are cars that are speeding now, and Bernadette has confirmed that, that's the problem that we have in almost every block within Community Board 11. We all know our traffic is moving much too quickly, but it's much more of a danger on Rhinelander Avenue in those 3 blocks than any place else, because that is a very, very narrow street with cars parked on both sides, leaving you 1 lane for traffic to move. And if somebody who's foolish enough to doing more than 30 or 40 miles an hour on Rhinelander Avenue heading towards Eastchester, heading towards Unionport Road, they're a foolish driver and they're not a safe driver. So I think what we can just simply do, as we've done here, without calling for Rhinelander to be moved one way or the other, we're just calling for the study to be made, because we realize this is not a safe block. I could not have made that statement 10 years ago. But in the last 10 years, this has become a block that we are concerned about when it comes to safety. We're concerned about the children crossing the street. We're concerned about the vehicles coming up the block on both sides and possibly nicking each other or banging each other at their doors because they try to make it through the block. This needs to be done so that the professionals at DOT can come down with their study. And I've seen this during my 30 years in the borough president's office, actually 1 year being a member of Board 10, 30 years as a liaison to half a dozen or more community boards, where DOT comes in, they study the problems, they bring their resolution back. The community board is not always thrilled with all the recommendations. They may accept some of them, reject some of the others. There's negotiation that continues, but the professionals at DOT will look at this and make their recommendations based not just on a public hearing, but they'll ring doorbells, and they'll need to ring doorbells for people who live on Rhinelander Avenue who are most immediately affected by this. As I said earlier, the most important people who need to respond to this, and they're not on tonight, are the people who live directly on Rhinelander Avenue, live just off of Victor Street in Rhinelander, off of Amethyst Street in Rhinelander, because they are the ones most directly affected by this. But all of us drive, and all of us know that that's been one of our shortcuts that we've always used. And as I said earlier, it's a shortcut that I will probably never use again, because I have found that it's not safe enough. And I found that just going down Morris Park Avenue, heading towards 180th to get on the Sheridan or across Bronx, or to attend Venice Neighborhood Alliance meetings, and to just make a right-hand turn on Amethyst Street is the best way for me to go to get there. But to take a chance to ride on Rhinelander Avenue in the year 2021, in that small section, Robert, not the entire block, just in those small couple of blocks, is the way to go, and to have DOT study it is the way for, I think, Community Board 11 to recommend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. I understand fully what you said.
Hello, I just like to clarify,
Hey, Chris,
the data does not support
I
the
just wanted
opinion.
to mention that the rest of Rhinelander Avenue is at least 40 feet wide. So if you look at that small stretch that we're requesting, it's 30 feet. Why is it 30 feet wide, but the rest of Rhinelander is at least 40 feet? Some of it is more than 40 feet. So there's something wrong there. And if you look at all the one-way streets, Hunt, Holland, Barnes, Wallace, you name it, guess what? They're all 30 feet. And guess what? They're all one way. And if you look at Wallace, it's 40 feet. Wallace is even 40 feet and it's a one-way street. So to request a one-way, honestly, you take a risk, right? Because DOT is going to come back and say, well, it's great that you wanted it westbound. We're going to make it eastbound. Honestly, I don't care. You know why? Because it's safer at the end of the day. All I care about right now is safety. You don't put 2 parking lanes and 2 driving lanes in a 30-foot lane, a 30-foot wide roadway. It's almost impossible. You're looking for problems, especially when it's right around 2 corners of 2 intersections. And if you look at, there's 2 intersections to the east and 2 to the west that surround that little area. It's extremely tight. I mean, I don't even know how much argument there is if you just compare it to the rest of the area. We're not asking for any exceptions to say, you know what, this is 40 feet, but we're looking for a one way. That's not what we're looking for. It's 30 feet. All the streets that are 30 feet are one way. So why can't we have a 30-feet street one way like all the other one-way streets? We're not asking for something impossible. We're just asking for common sense. We're just asking for consistency. If all of those are one way, let's make this one way. Like I said, more convenient for me personally, I would say westbound. If they say it's eastbound, I would say DOT. Doesn't make sense because most of the people I know drive westbound on it. That's all I have to say.
Okay, Mr. B,
Hello? I'm sorry, Chris?
Hold
I'm
on.
sorry,
I'm
Chris.
not,
Chris,
hold on,
because I always thought,
Roxanne,
okay,
just one second.
okay,
Mr.
okay.
Beat, I'm not an expert on when it comes to about doing the study. I believe they take into consideration a lot of things when they decide which one to make one way, either it's a 30-footer or 40-footer. But again, once it's going to be brought to the community board, which is going to be explained where does the study stands or whatever the quest is, it's up to the board to decide again, either to table it for another meeting or to go ahead and vote for it. And if it gets opposed, then that's it. If it gets voted yay, then it's going to be sent to the DOT and DOT is going to do a study, which on the study is going to be emphasized only that portion, not the entire Rhinelander.
Right.
Sir.
Yes,
Chris,
Ms. Delgado, go ahead.
The data does not support the constant misinformation about this being a safety issue. Look at the numbers at DOT website. There is this section of Rhinelander is not considered by the data and reported incident as an unsafe area. So please, let's stick with facts, data. It may seem unsafe to you, but the data that's recorded by DOT of any reported incident does not show this being an unsafe area. Street. Second, if anything, the little feedback that I received from few residents in that area was that the parking, it's a double parking that's been a big issue over there. And I'm going to say it again, it's a double parking that seems to be the big issue there, not the fact that the street is supposedly 10 feet narrower than the street north of the section of that they want to turn into a one-way. So, but let's stick with facts. Look at DOT, don't listen to people, look at DOT data. It does not consider an area that is unsafe to drive. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Can I ask, how many times have you driven through that street, Ms. Delgado?
Yeah, hey, look at DOT, at the data. Analyze the data.
I'm looking at data. I'm telling you, the data says it's 30 feet. All the one-way streets are 30 feet.
No, that's not the measurement of the street. I'm talking about the incident.
So I am looking at you're looking at one type of data which is convenient for you. I'm looking at the type of data that's a fact that shows the measurements. And I'm also talking as a person that drives through it and as a person who is speaking on behalf of the Bronx Muslim Center and many of the residents there, many of the businesses there that share the same concern. You're speaking on behalf of one resident. You also never have driven there, and you're looking at.
You don't know.
And we're trying to prevent. Stop cutting me off. You see, I didn't cut you off.
Ms.
I didn't
Delgado,
cut you
hold
off.
on.
I waited
Ms.
until
Delgado,
you
let him
speaking.
finish. Ms.
Why
Delgado,
do you
please.
feel the need to cut me off every time I'm speaking? But I always let you finish what you have to say. It is very, very disrespectful.
The personal attack was unnecessary.
Ms. Delgado, please.
How am I personally attacking you when I'm telling you just to let me finish speaking? Why is it a personal attack? Everything to you is a personal attack, but I don't take everything. Everything you say to me is Islamophobic. You have something against me because I'm a Muslim, and I've had enough of it, and I will stop it. Trust me, I will stop it. You are here today because of the Bronx Muslim Center making this request, and because it's me, and because it has something to do with Muslims. You're Islamophobic, it's unacceptable, and it will not be tolerated. Enough is enough. You've shouted me out as a Trump Muslim supporter. You always throw the word Muslim in there. That's disrespectful. It's a free country. I can vote for whoever the hell I want to vote for, and you should not say
Mr.
Trump
Beat,
and Muslim in the same sentence.
Okay. Thank you.
It is unacceptable.
Mr. Beat, thank you.
All right, but I mentioned this
Okay,
because this request was made for you as a Muslim center.
That's it.
It had nothing to do with the Islamophobic. Now you're playing the race card because I've mentioned the data doesn't support that the street is unsafe, and then you toss the race card for no reason.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Okay, Mr. Fuchs, Rabbi.
Yes.
Anything else you have to add, sir?
Now, we should have a peaceful and happy new year. We will take this up to the board. The same questions might arise. and let's see what happens after that. And if you want to come to the board meeting, you could again speak as a speaker from the board and give your views about what we're going to vote on about this study. And the
Yes.
study, we don't know
Yes, sir.
how, we don't know if the study will happen. We don't know how long it'll take, but we will go from there, plain and simple.
Chris?
Yes, Mr.
Hello?
Pratt.
Thank you.
Been unable,
Hello?
I've let the others speak. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting the rabbi who wants to end the meeting, but I'd like to say some things also before it's
Sure,
ended.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Nolan mentioned accidents. Now, DOT is going to ask for an accident study on that too. They're going to have to go to the 49th precinct and see how many accidents were involved on that street. And as far as it being,
Excuse me, Mr. Nolan, namely me, never mentioned accidents. The only person who's mentioned accidents has been Roxanne Delgado presenting statistics. You should know that the two,
we
three,
can go to the
400
tape,
times
Bob,
I've
and
gone up
the
Rhinelander
word
Avenue.
accident came out of your mouth,
Fortunately,
Bob.
thank
That's why I
God,
mentioned you.
I have never been in an accident. But that doesn't,
No.
so I'm not part
Okay.
of the statistics Ms. Delgado presented. So please, if you're going to quote somebody else like Ms. Delgado, but not me, because I never talked about accidents in my testimony.
We both can listen to the tape. All right, but as far as the street, as far as the street being 30 feet, there are many streets that are two-way with parking on both sides in many community boards that are two-way streets. I can give you one next to a school in Riverdale where buses double park. And yes, mirrors, side view mirrors do get knocked off when they pass the buses or the buses pass them. And this is what happens. The streets now. I agree though that the street should be one way. All right. I travel the street when I come up away from the Van Ness meetings. I turn right onto Rhinelander and I continue down Rhinelander all the way to Williamsbridge Road. All right. And I enjoy driving on Rhinelander. And I always stay within the speed limit. And that's why I would love it to see it go eastbound myself. But okay, I'll stop for now and leave it to you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Hello?
Do we have any further comments? Any further comments?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Yes,
Charlene.
who's this?
Charlene.
Marion.
Marion.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Hi, now that I have your attention, I live on Rhinelander and Wallace Avenue on the 40-foot wide street, and I would have to disagree with Yahe because I've been asking for the speed cameras on this block, which is, I believe, much more unsafe, and there's much more accidents over here on the wider street where there's four-way stop signs. I've been asking for 2 years for this and never heard anything.
Okay, Miss Manfredi.
So
when it comes
I'm
to about speed
confused
cameras-
where the public safety is or where these accidents are there when I've never heard of any of it.
Okay, Miss Manfredi, when it comes to
Yeah.
about speed cameras, they are put near schools. They're not put everywhere, wherever people are requesting that. So that's one of the requirements.
Okay, well, we're in a school zone.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Mis-
it was.
Mr. Kirka,
Yes,
may I just state again, I don't understand. Clearly, this is people have a variety of different feelings about this. It's the job of the community board to represent the community and to be sensitive to issues that affect residents of the community. I don't understand why this has to be rushed, especially because, as many people have noted, once OT does their study, you're kind of likely to be stuck with whatever they come up with. And it's not, for me, I know you perhaps think a week is enough time, but this is something that's going to have a huge impact, not only on the people that live on Rhinelander and those neighboring streets, but also for individuals such as myself that drive. And I think there are facts. You're entitled to your opinion, but not your own facts. So it is definitely knowable whether there are accidents happening there or not. And I don't believe, that the name calling is fair. And if it turns out that that area is not a place where accidents are occurring, I think an apology is in order. We all have equal rights here. It's not for any one person to, push their agenda through. There's no reason.
Ms. Mendes, I mean,
There's no reason that members of our community cannot have more time to be informed about, another hearing and a possible traffic study.
okay, Ms. Mendes, can I ask you a question?
You're locked in.
Do you believe the community board, members of community board, I'm not talking me as a staff, even though I live in neighborhood, I have interest in neighborhood, I have business in the neighborhood,
Yes.
I put my money in the neighborhood. Question is,
Yes.
do you believe that the board members of the neighborhood don't want the well-being of the entire community board per se?
What I will say is that in the past year, I witnessed some things where the wishes of the entire community were not considered. And that's a concern to me. So that's why I'm trying to be present. I'm trying to hear things directly for myself. And if there are so many people, for example, that are concerned about this two-way street, I would really love to give them an opportunity to speak so that we can hear directly from the people, because I know the people in my community. Everybody's working hard for the most part to survive. We are working very hard to engage more people in the process, and just giving people a week to know about a hearing, for me, doesn't show that you really truly want to give people an opportunity to weigh in, because this is an important issue. And too many times things are happening at the community board level, and the people that live here, for a variety of reasons, are not really aware. And if you all really care about our community, then you need to, I believe, work with us to get more people engaged. It can't just be, we gave you a week notice and you either made it or you didn't, tough luck. That doesn't.
May I point something out, Charlene? Do you want a traffic study? Do you want a traffic study?
You know what? I'm kind of agnostic. What I want more people to weigh in, because what I realize is I'm concerned that desire to get this done and get it done so quickly is not really coming from the community as a whole. And that concerns me, because for me, I'm here to, as a homeowner, and as somebody with a vested interest in Van Nest, I want to make sure when major changes occur that the community is involved to the extent possible. And I just don't understand.
Don't you think a traffic study will give you
No,
us idea, the specific facts, updated
I'm
facts that we
sorry.
need?
Bernadette, the concern is that once the traffic study is done, from what I understand everybody's saying, you're locked into whatever they recommend. So if that is the case, why don't we do some due diligence? What would be the harm in that before we get ourselves into a situation where we're locked in and so many of the people don't even know anything about it? I don't get that. Why would that be the best decision?
I think that the people who signed that petition that live there should be on this meeting, and they're not.
Well, has someone really done the work to engage them and advertise where those people are at? Put a letter or flyer in their mailbox? Because I'm not so sure, and I can't say anything without knowing things for myself. But I know there are major changes going 1, 2, 3, and when you look up, people don't even know what has happened. And I can't just sit idly by that when I see that happening for myself. The community is changing very rapidly. It is important that things be done in the correct way at the most local level. We have problems at every level of our government, from top to bottom, because people are not engaged and things are just happening with the consent of just a few people. And if we really want a strong, diverse community where everybody feels respected, we need to do things properly. And that's what I am going to advocate for. And where I see something done where I believe the community doesn't have a voice, I'm gonna make it known that I don't agree with that. And 1 week for an important issue like this during the holiday season, that to me is not cool, not kosher. So that's all I can say. I think people, and I really would love to hear from the people themselves that live on these streets and that drive through these streets. I drive through them too.
Okay, Ms. Mendez, at the full board meeting, you're more than welcome to speak at the gallery session before it starts about the board, before it starts about voting on this matter, please.
When will
Hey,
that
Chris.
be? When
It's
will
on the
that?
23rd.
Chris, one last thing.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Abid.
Chris, yeah, just real quick. I'm looking at the data.cityofnewyork.us. It's a website that the city has the crash data, the motor vehicle collisions, crashes, and I'm counting 15 incidents or accidents on this stretch. I don't know when it goes back to, but I'm showing 15 here.
Okay. Okay. So, hey, listen, on the 23rd, the full board meeting, open gallery session, sign in. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. No, I'm sorry. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Wednesday. On Thursday is going to be the full board meeting, which is the 23rd, if I'm not wrong. Everybody that is present at this meeting, more than welcome to come to the full board meeting. Please register to speak 36 hours in advance through our website. Put your information and also the issue that you're going to talk about it. Everything is in there. I would
Chris,
really appreciate
perhaps-
you guys
Yeah,
register.
thank you, Mr. Kirker. Thank
Chris,
you, Rabbi
sorry.
Fuchs.
Chris,
Thank you, my
perhaps
fellow
the
members.
deal. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Ms. Delgado.
Oh,
Yes, Ms.
The
Delgado.
board, perhaps the board staff could obtain that information DOT regarding, I already know what the data is, but I don't want it to be repeated and be called that I'm a racist or something. Perhaps we could get that information from DOT, which is also on their website, to show how safe or unsafe this section of Rhinelander really is, and provide it as with the motion that the board's going to vote on, which most likely will be passed. But I would really like that data from DOT to be included with the motion so people can really see the numbers as opposed to opinions.
Yeah, but Ms. Delgado, this is going to be about to start a what's it called, a study. It's not about voting. Yes, we want this to be one way. It's to start a study.
I understand, but it seems like the few people here that are for this study are basing it on the opinion that it's unsafe and the children crossing and it's unsafe. But the
No,
data
but
states
Ms. Delgado,
otherwise.
at this moment, everything that is being said, it's people's opinion. It's
Okay,
people's
thank you.
desire. I mean, at this moment, everything is opinion. Nothing's going to be decided on studies that you, me, whoever is going to do a study here and there and pick up things from, I don't know, different kind of places, different kind of websites. That's why so far everything is an opinion. People bring their opinion, people bring their will here. That's why it's an open to the public, even though we decided before to have only 2 minutes. When I see that, everybody is concerned and everything else, I wipe out that issue about the 2 minutes. Whoever spoke in the beginning, and after that, I let everybody to speak freely.
But I just say DOT data shows no incident. Again, it's on DOT's website. Thank you.
No, I understand that. Okay, so Rabbi, Chair, it's up to you to decide. Should we consider this a end of the meeting?
Yes, I think everybody has been given a chance to speak. If you've not been given a
Hey,
chance.
Rabbi, the owner of Oasis or the manager of Oasis located on there is present. I don't know if you want to give him opportunity to speak. If not, I know this has gone for a long meeting, but I just wanted to let you know that he's on. His name is Shopi. Shopi is on.
Okay, this is the gentleman that asked, that put the proposal, if I'm not wrong, Mr. B.
Yeah, that's correct. And it's actually a shared proposal between the Bronx Muslim Center and him as the manager
The
of
business
Oasis.
owner. Okay, okay, 2 minutes. This is gonna be the last person. And I'm sorry, after that, I'm gonna consider the meeting closed. Let me know whenever the gentleman is ready so I can start the time.
Okay, are you on?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Go
my
ahead.
turn now.
Yeah,
Yes,
go
go
ahead.
I'm sorry, I was a little bit busy. I'm at work right now.
Time has started, sir.
So I own a restaurant right by Rhinelander and White Plain. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
hear
I can
you.
hear you. Go ahead.
Keep on
Okay.
going.
How about now? You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. That's why.
Yeah.
I own a restaurant right under White Plain, and there's always a traffic. You know, when the car coming down from Amethyst toward White Plain, they make a lot of traffic over there. With my customers, they even get parkings, or they can't even move up. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. Yes. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to everything because I was a little bit busy at work. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Statement has been made. Anybody else have any final statements? Or else we're going to an adjournment. We've got-
Rabbi, I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to let us, the Board 11 staff, know that the form for speaking time at the public meeting, at the full board meeting, is not on the website. There are 6 other forms I emailed the office requesting to speak. I just want the staff to know that. Thank you.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Mr. Press. Mr.
Yes?
Press, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna take you step by step because probably you have the wrong idea where exactly. You gotta go to contact the community board.
There
Because
are
that's
6
what you
forms
do.
up there,
No,
Chris.
no, listen to me. You got to you go to contact on the website and it's right there, request speaking time.
Well, I mean, we were told to go to forms.
No,
Then it
no,
would be there.
contact, because you contacting us and letting us know that you speak. Click on request speaking time, and right then and there, it gives you explanation how you want to do it. It gives you
Well, I
title,
wish the
first name,
board would
last name.
make up their mind which way they want it done.
Okay,
First they said
fine.
forms, now they're saying contact. I don't know.
We need the same forms, but you contact us, sir. You contact us. I mean, it's logical. You contact us to let us know you speak. So there is right there at contact, click. It has request a record. If you want to request a record, request a speaking time, or request the Yankee tickets. It's a request. That's why you contacting us to request certain things. So again, emphasizing, if you want to come to the full community board on the 23rd at 7 p.m., go to contact, click on request speaking time. Right then and there, it's self-explanatory, and you sign it in, and that's it. Once we receive it, you don't have to send us an email or you don't have to call us and let us know that you're going to have to speak. I believe it's self-explanatory right there. Anything else?
I have to send you an email because the link doesn't work on my phone. It's not compatible. I sent a link to RSVP for the full board meeting.
That's okay, Ms. Delgado. Just that's
Thank you.
fine. Sure.
Thank you.
And
Okay, Chris, we're ready to call it
okay,
a night, call it a day. Wish everybody a happy holiday, successful holiday. And we'll hear you Thursday if you'd like to join us. It would be our pleasure.
please do join us and speak your voice. Time 8:41. Public hearing for tonight. It's finished. It's ended. Wish everybody happy holidays. If I see you at the community board full board meeting, I want to wish again happy holidays. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you,
care.
Chris.
You.
Thank you, Rabbi. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.